Tsutomu Yamaguchi. His name may not ring a bell, but by the time this story is done, it will be etched into your memory. Yamaguchi wasn't just a survivor. He stared into the fiery face of nuclear devastation twice and lived to tell the tale. But before we get to that, let's start at the beginning. Born in Nagasaki on March 16, 1916, Tsutomu Yamaguchi grew up in a peaceful countryside, surrounded by the beauty of Japan's changing seasons. The son of a modest family, he was a bright and creative child with a passion for learning. As he grew older, Yamaguchi found his calling in engineering and secured a job with Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. It was a position of great promise, offering him stability and a bright future. Yamaguchi had a loving wife, Hisako, and together they built a life filled with joy. By 1945, they were raising two young children, a toddler and a newborn. Life was good, but the world was on the brink of unimaginable chaos. On August 6, 1945, Yamaguchi was far from home on a business trip to Hiroshima. That morning, he was walking toward the shipyard when he noticed a B-29 bomber in the sky. And then, in his own words, a great flash of light filled the sky, and I was blown off my feet. It was Little Boy, the first atomic bomb. The explosion scorched his face, shattered his eardrums, and left him dazed in a city reduced to rubble. Despite his injuries, Yamaguchi survived. He used torn rags to bandage his burns and found his co-workers, who were also injured. Together, they decided to return to Nagasaki, desperate to reunite with their families. It took Yamaguchi 2 grueling days to reach Nagasaki. When he finally made it home, Hisako could barely recognize him. His face was swollen, blistered, and weak from his ordeal, but rest was not an option. On August 9th, still injured, Yamaguchi went to work at Mitsubishi to report what he had seen in Hiroshima. He hoped to warn his colleagues about the devastating power of the bomb. Then, the unthinkable happened again. As Yamaguchi stood in a meeting, another blinding flash lit up the room. He fell to the floor as the windows shattered around him. It was Fat Man, the second atomic bomb. Yamaguchi's workplace was 3 kilometers from ground zero. His burns reopened, his body battered, but incredibly, he survived once more. When he stumbled home, he feared the worst. But Hisako and their children, by sheer providence, had taken shelter in a tunnel and were unharmed. Surviving 2 atomic bombs brought unimaginable hardships. Radiation exposure caused severe health issues, including burns and cancer. But Yamaguchi found strength in his family. He often said, "Having children gave me the will to live. I had to see them grow up." Hisako was his unwavering partner through it all. Together, they raised 3 children, protecting them as best they could from the shadow of war. Yamaguchi's story didn't end with survival. He became an advocate for peace. In his later years, he traveled across Japan and the world, speaking out against nuclear weapons. He told world leaders, the only way to ensure the future is to abolish nuclear weapons. His message wasn't one of anger, but of hope. Hope that no one would ever endure what he had. Tsutomu Yamaguchi passed away in 2010 at the age of 93, leaving behind a legacy of resilience, advocacy, and unwavering love for his family. He wasn't just a survivor, he was a voice for humanity, a husband, a father, and a symbol of hope for a peaceful future. Surviving a nuclear attack requires immediate action and preparation. Here are 3 specific tips, including essential survival gear and medications. 1. Take immediate shelter. Why? The blast and initial radiation are deadly. Fallout, the radioactive debris, will follow shortly after the explosion. Seek shelter immediately, ideally underground like a basement, or in the center of a sturdy building away from windows. If caught outside, drop to the ground, lie face down, and cover exposed skin. Once the shockwave passes, find shelter as quickly as possible. Essential gear: N95 masks or P100 respirators to filter radioactive particles in fallout. Thick clothing. Cover as much skin as possible with dense fabrics like wool or denim to reduce radiation exposure. Flashlight or headlamp, preferably hand-cranked or battery-powered for navigating dark spaces. 2. Seal yourself from fallout. Why? Fallout is highly radioactive and can cause radiation sickness if inhaled, ingested, or absorbed through the skin. Once inside a shelter, seal all doors, windows, and vents with plastic sheeting and duct tape. Create an internal clean zone with minimal exposure to outside air. Stay sheltered for at least 24 to 48 hours, as radiation levels drop significantly in that time. Essential gear: plastic sheeting and duct tape for sealing windows and doors, emergency radio, battery-powered or hand crank, to receive official updates on radiation levels and evacuation orders. Water and non-perishable food. Stock at least a 3-day supply per person. 3. Protect your body from radiation. Why? Exposure to high radiation doses can cause severe illness or death. Potassium iodide helps protect the thyroid, one of the most vulnerable organs. Take potassium iodide tablets as directed by authorities. It saturates the thyroid gland with non-radioactive iodine, reducing the absorption of radioactive iodine. Stay hydrated and monitor for symptoms of radiation sickness, such as nausea, vomiting, or fatigue. Essential gear and medications. Potassium iodide tablets, available online or in pharmacies. Store them as part of your emergency kit. First aid kit: include burn treatments. Example: aloe vera gel, sterile bandages, and antiseptic wipes. Dosimeter or Geiger counter, to measure radiation levels if available. Bonus tip: prepare in advance stockpile water, non-perishable food, and batteries. Aim for a 2-week supply if possible. Learn basic first aid and familiarize yourself with fallout shelter strategies. If you found Yamaguchi's story inspiring, make sure to subscribe to Survival Sense HQ for more incredible survival stories and life-saving strategies. Check out our other videos for tips on disaster preparedness, wilderness survival, and building a mindset that can help you face life's toughest challenges. Preparation isn't just for extreme situations. It's a skill that can protect you and your loved ones. Until next time, stay prepared, stay resilient, and remember, survival isn't just a story, it's a skill.